Springfield, Missouri in June 1992 was the picture of suburban predictability. Warm nights and quiet neighborhoods where front doors were often left unlocked. Sherrill Levitt, her daughter Suzie Streeter, and Suzie's friend Stacy McCall were part of that world. The three shared tight familial bonds, and that particular weekend was a high point. Suzie and Stacy had just celebrated their high school graduation. The girls spent the night hopping between graduation parties before eventually venturing back to Sherrill's house. They walked through the front door at approximately 2:15 a.m. Inside, the routine was entirely normal. The girls washed off their makeup, changed into their sleeping clothes, and prepared for bed. Every physical indicator points toward a routine night's sleep. This highly documented, completely unremarkable timeline serves as the final proof of their existence. Those small actions, wiping off mascara, folding clothes, are the last recorded moments before they vanished. The next morning, friends arrived at the house to find the front door unlocked. In Springfield, that wasn't immediately alarming, but stepping inside revealed a scene that made no sense. The house was frozen. Untouched purses and car keys sat neatly on an entryway table, while their vehicles remained outside. A single unlit cigarette waited. Yet the environment completely lacked the hallmarks of a violent intrusion. There was no shattered glass, no bloodstains, no overturned furniture, and no signs of a struggle in any of the bedrooms. This house layout highlights undisturbed green zones. It's physically difficult to remove 3 adults simultaneously without disturbing a single object. With no physical evidence, traditional methods met a total absence of actionable data. Authorities were left at a logical dead end. The situation grew more complex on the morning of the discovery. Well-meaning friends and family members, not realizing a crime had occurred, began cleaning the house and moving items, unintentionally altering the environment. Early on, local law enforcement did not immediately secure the house. Operating under the assumption that the women had taken a voluntary, unannounced trip, they delayed treating the home as a crime scene. The families disagreed. They insisted the women would never leave behind all of their cash, their parked vehicles, and their daily medications. During these unsecured hours, a civilian inadvertently deleted a message from the house's answering machine. This permanently erased what might have been the only recorded sound from that morning. Because the environment was so heavily altered before forensic teams arrived, detectives lost the chance to identify microscopic traces. They were forced to move away from physical reality and rely on competing theories. Detectives explored 2 improbable paths. A voluntary departure requires money, transportation, and motive. All fail, as cash and cars were left behind. The second path, forced abduction, requires subduing 3 adults simultaneously, maintaining total silence, and transporting them without leaving physical marks. To maintain that level of control without a struggle, an abductor might have used a ruse, perhaps impersonating a figure of authority to trick them into walking out the front door. When weighing these paths, the abduction theory better explains why they would walk out the door, leaving purses and keys on a table, even if the physical logistics remain difficult to explain. Investigators were left facing a choice between a perfectly executed crime or an equally improbable coordinated erasure. This chart tracks decades of investigative effort. Despite heavy national media coverage, the volume of forensic evidence has remained at 0 since 1992. There are no physical remains, discarded clothing, murder weapons, or actionable suspects. Every metric typically used to solve a disappearance is missing. In criminology, Locard's exchange principles states that every contact leaves a trace. Here, whether due to the perpetrator's precision or the early contamination of the house, the trace was lost, leaving a forensic void that modern tools have failed to fill. Beyond the files and charts is a human cost. The families and the Springfield community remain in a state of psychological paralysis, unable to move forward without answers. The disappearance stands as a reminder of the limitations of modern law enforcement. Without a physical starting point, the system has nowhere to go. Despite our advancements in technology, 3 people proved it's possible to walk into a quiet house and vanish completely from the face of the earth.